Okay, so think about the last time you did laundry. You probably just tossed your clothes in, pushed a button, and walked away, right? It kind of feels like magic. But what's actually happening inside that big metal box? Well, it's an incredible symphony of physics, chemistry, and engineering. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden science of your washing machine.
I mean, seriously, just let this sink in for a second. For pretty much all of human history, doing laundry was a full-on, back-breaking workout. You'd be down at a river for hours, literally beating your clothes on rocks, using nothing but pure muscle. And now, we press a single button. That jump from just friction and elbow grease to advanced chemistry, it's honestly one of the biggest and most overlooked upgrades to our daily lives.
So the big question is, how did that happen? How in the world did we get from rocks to robotics? That's what we're going to dive into, because this journey from the riverbank to your laundry room is a truly amazing story of science and innovation. All right, so our story really starts with those very first attempts to replace all that human effort with some clever mechanical ingenuity. The first steps were pretty humble. Back in the late 1700s, we got the hand crank. It was basically just a big wooden tub with a paddle. A step up, for sure, but still a lot of work. Then, in 1851, things got a little better with the rotating drum. But the real revolution, the moment that changed everything, was 1908, the electric motor. Suddenly, the engine wasn't you anymore. The power source wasn't your arms. It was electromagnetism. And right there, brute force labor turned into applied physics. Okay, so we've got the machine, but how does it actually get stuff clean? This is where the science gets really, really cool. Well, it turns out there's kind of a secret recipe for cleaning anything, and it's called the Sinner's Circle. You just need four key ingredients. You need the mechanical action, the movement. You need the chemical action, that's your detergent. You need thermal energy, which is heat. And you need time. Every single wash cycle is just a carefully balanced combination of these four things. Now, the absolute superhero of this whole process is a tiny little molecule called a surfactant. The easiest way to think of it is as a microscopic two-faced magnet. One end, the head, absolutely loves water. The other end, the tail, hates water, but it loves grease and dirt. This little split personality molecule is the perfect tool for grabbing onto grime and literally pulling it away from your clothes. And here's where it gets incredible. Millions of these little surfactant molecules swarm a piece of dirt. They all point their grease-loving tails inward to grab on, leaving their water-loving heads facing out. What they form is a tiny, perfect little cage called a micelle, with the dirt trapped right in the middle. And because the outside of that cage loves water, the water in the machine can just grab it and wash it all away. It's genius. Okay, so we know the ingredients. Now let's put it all together. We're going to break down exactly what's happening second by second from the moment you press that start button. You can really think of the whole thing like a little 5-act play happening inside that drum. Act 1, the machine fills with exactly the right amount of water. Act 2, our surfactant superheroes are released. Act 3 is all about the physical force, the tumbling and agitation. Act 4, heat comes in to give everything a boost. And for the grand finale, Act 5, the powerful spin cycle that gets all that dirty water out. It's a perfectly choreographed, scientific performance. So let's talk about that tumbling and sloshing around. It's not just random. It's all about creating something called shear forces. Here's an easy way to think about it. If you have mud on your hands, just running water over them doesn't do much. But when you rub your hands together, the mud comes right off. That rubbing action, that's a shear force. And it's the same idea inside the machine. That movement physically pries the dirt off the fabric so the surfactants can do their job. All right, so why do we always reach for the hot water setting when we've got a really tough stain? It's pure thermodynamics. Heat does three amazing things. First, it makes oily, greasy stains way less sticky. Second, it turbocharges the chemical reactions of the detergent. And third, it helps that detergent spread through the clothes faster. So yeah, a cold wash is great for saving energy, but a hot wash, well, that's bringing the full power of physics to the fight. After the rinse cycle comes the grand finale, and I want you to remember one number, 1200. That's 1,200 revolutions per minute. To put that into perspective, that's faster than a lot of cars' engines idle at a stoplight. It's an incredible amount of speed, all for one simple purpose, to force the water out of your clothes. And the science behind that amazing speed is something you've definitely felt before.
If you've ever been on a merry-go-round, you know that feeling of being pushed to the outside? Well, that's centrifugal force. And inside the washing machine, that exact same force flings the heavy water right through the little holes in the drum while your clothes stay safely inside. But modern machines aren't just about raw power anymore. They're also incredibly smart. We've really moved from an era of just gears and belts to an era of microchips and algorithms.
Seriously, a modern machine is less like a simple appliance and more like a little laundry robot. It has sensors. It has sensors that can actually feel the exact weight of your clothes, detect if the load is off balance, and constantly check the water temperature. All of that data gets fed to a central computer brain that optimizes the entire cycle on the fly, making sure you get a perfect clean using the least amount of water and energy possible. There's a really great way to think about all this. Every wash cycle is a silent experiment. Every single time you do a load of laundry, you are kicking off this complex scientific process, a hidden dance of chemistry and physics right there in your own home. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's just wild. The simple act of washing clothes has transformed from this act of pure brute force into a highly controlled, incredibly precise scientific process. We've literally gone from the chaos of a riverbank to a tiny, automated laboratory.
So the next time you push that button, just take a second to remember all the incredible science that's packed inside. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If we can hide this much innovation inside a washing machine, what everyday object is science going to completely revolutionize next?